Let's start with this presentation of SmartCityTech. It is not one presentation, but several presentations from, I think about, after me, 6 European companies showing their smart city solutions. But let me first explain what SmartCityTech is doing. SmartCityTech is a so-called European strategic cluster partnership. So we are in fact a meta organization consisting out of a few business associations or so-called cluster organizations all over Europe. But let me explain shortly our reason of existence. And then I always start with this bunch of fire ants. So this is a picture of a bunch of fire ants, and it was a picture taken in the US after the hurricane in Houston a few years ago passed by. And in fact, this is a great example of resilience. And smart cities is all related to resilience. What do those fire ants do? They clamp together in a situation of flooding. They form a raft and they then float to land, and then they continue their life. And in fact, smart cities and solutions we need for smart cities are all related to how can we be resilient facing the challenges we face. And this is for all cities, and this was also the case for a smaller city several years ago, a few thousand years ago, on the island of Crete, which was Knossos. And I always use Knossos as an example of what a smart city is. Knossos was, in my opinion, a smart city. Why? A few thousand years ago, they were able to make their living, make their life using the tools and the solutions which were available at that moment in time. So they were able to give life to about 100,000 people 3,000–4,000 years ago. And so that was quite important. Nowadays, we also face some challenges. The world became global, but we also have other tools than just a hammer and an axe. We do have all type of technologies which allows us to sense the environment, to process data, and to act upon it. And this is also a tool we can use to make our life much more comfortable. In fact, technology is becoming more or less our sixth human sense. So by using technology, we can move in place and in time. So if we want to have a call with Singapore, we just use Skype Skype for Business or whatever kind of tool. Using artificial intelligence based on data we have, we can gain some more insight in what the future can bring. So technology becomes much more important and an integral part of our life. But to capture the full potential of this technology, we believe that collaboration and cross-fertilization between stakeholders is key. Because it's complex technology which we try to implement in, from time to time, also complex environments. And that's the reason why we have set up SmartCityTech. SmartCityTech is, as I said, a meta cluster, so a cluster of clusters, so a business association based on several business associations throughout Europe. So we do have partners from the north to the south, from the east to the west of Europe. And the only thing we are aiming at is to drive or to improve the competitiveness of all our EU stakeholders by setting up a joint collaboration plan with one aim is to make our cities much more resilient. In total, behind this partnership, there are more than 3,000 companies, not only companies, but stakeholders in general, academia, companies, and also governmental bodies. So what we do is one thing, we try to establish collaboration between the different regions, but also we go with SmartCityTech to other continents. So this morning we had a workshop with representatives from Singapore, from Australia, from New Zealand, and also from Canada. And what we try to set up, we are SmartCityTech, we can be the single point of contact between stakeholders on the other contact and European players. And we are searching more or less what we call beachhead partners in Singapore, in Canada, to play the same role as we are playing here in Europe. And that's in fact part of our internationalization strategy. And step by step this is evolving because we do have already some good contacts with Singapore, with agencies in Singapore like IPI, Enterprise Singapore, and so on. And we are establishing contacts with, for example, ERA, which is one of the major accelerators into New York City for tech companies. So they give us access to the ecosystems, and we can give them access to our ecosystems here in Flanders. Sorry, I'm from Flanders, but in Europe, I mean. So, and we do this by setting up a collaboration program, which is focused on 6 action lines. So first, we bring people together in a vibrant and global ecosystem. The Smart City Expo is always our yearly get-together. Second is we have a joint vision. Part of the joint vision I shortly explained already. We give access to global innovation capacities, to people, to training resources, to living labs and so on. And the most important is that we try to stimulate active collaboration interregional in Europe, but also outside with stakeholders outside Europe. So for example, as part of the Eureka Global Stars Call, we established collaboration projects between companies from Flanders, Spain, Czech Republic, and so on, and Singaporean people or companies. And then the next action line, nothing is for free, thus we provide access to funding. And going beyond Europe, I emphasized already, so we do have 2 target regions, big target regions, Asian and North America, with mainly northeast coast of USA and Canada. So that's in fact, in a nutshell, what we are doing. To give you a proof of our international international operations, we now have selected 6 companies from different regions throughout Europe who can pitch for about 5 minutes what they are doing and how they, which solutions they provide for, in the context of smart cities. We do have 6 companies, and I have to look at my paper. The first one is a company from Germany, IABG. And I will give you now the floor to explain a little bit what you are doing.
Right. Thank you very much, Mark. I hope everyone can hear me. Welcome. My name is Konstantin Schletzky. I am program manager for security with IABG. We are we're a company of about 1,000 people based in Munich. Let's see. That's a little far. Let's start from the beginning. My apologies. Like Mark said, resilience at the end of the day is a key word or a key part of the identity of a smart city, the way we see it. In a way, you could think of IABG as one of the few true resilience companies, in a sense that we're one of the few companies actually involved in safety and security, both in the virtual space as providers of IT security consulting, cybersecurity consulting, but also spanning our historical roots are in safety and security in the physical world, meaning you see our division on the right-hand side, defense, security, that's where we started as a company for material testing. So resilience of the built environment, of physical infrastructures. That's where we came from and what we still do, meaning material testing for planes, any kind of advanced technology, fatigue testing. But not just for the world of defense, but also for the civilian world. There's no Airbus up in the air that we haven't worked on, that we haven't made sure it's ready to fly. We're talking about the A400M, we're talking about the A380. We've got hangars testing the entire A380 is in there. We take care of it, make sure that you and your family, when you travel, are safe. We do the same thing in the world of automotive. So any premium German car manufacturer, you can safely put your kids in there in the backseat, drive anywhere, you're safe, because we've made sure that from the engine all the way to the chassis, that car is ready to roll and can withstand adverse impacts, crash. We are also active in mobility and environmental solutions. One example, most of you might remember the Transrapid. If you've been to Shanghai, traveled from the airport to the city center, the maglev train. We're involved in the testing track for that, building that and operating it in northern Germany. And we've taken that technology, that experience on inductive charging, and we're now using it for e-cars. So wireless charging, even on the go, is something that that division takes care of. And now I'll get to digital assurance, or Infocom. That's the division where I'm at home. We are, like I said, security consultants. We're engineers. We're planners involved in smart and safe, ultimately resilient cities. That's what it's all about. Just a brief overview. In Europe and in Germany, we sometimes tend to think of a smart city as something where the lights always on. You press a button, light comes on, water's always running. But all these critical infrastructures that are underneath, we tend to take for granted. But if you work in the smart cities arena for a couple of years worldwide, like I've done, you realize that in North America, in Asia, that's not taken for granted. It's well understood that that's part of a smart city is also safety. The smartness really is nothing without security and protecting those critical infrastructures that really underpin the smartness when it comes to energy, water, but even public transport management and individual management, traffic management. Those traffic flows, they need to be controlled, they need to be optimized under normal conditions, of course, to make the city run as smoothly and efficiently as possible, to really provide that or make good on that promise of a smart city, which is ultimately quality of life for everyone there. But it's quality of life under all circumstances, so under adverse circumstances. Meaning that traffic management has a function also in case of an emergency. Think of green lights. For example, you've got a green wave for emergency vehicles. We can make sure that in case of an emergency, security forces can get there as rapidly as possible. So security in public spaces, terrorism, crime is one aspect that we also focus on. But there's much more to it. If you think about threat management, risk management, natural disasters, and that's where you come into a world of sensors that need to be controlled, the data needs to be aggregated, and it needs to be brought up to understood that, for example, in case of flood levels that are rising, it's very simple sensors. That information needs to be picked up and brought all together over machine-to-machine communication, IoT, whatever you want to call it, communication networks, both fixed, mobile, and satellite-based. That's something we provide. And at the end of the day, you get to security, you get to resilience, which is smartness. Without that, you do not have a smart city. And that's just a brief overview of how we see the world. The smart, the safe city, 5 layers. You've got end-to-end cybersecurity. Those are the competencies that you need. A smart city, all these sensors need to be protected, need to be safe and secure. That's something that we provide as one of the few companies in Germany certified by the Federal Office of IT Security as an IT security provider and auditor for critical infrastructure owners and operators and for public authorities that provide safety and security on all these levels of a safe city. We come in as consultants on the sensor level. I've mentioned the flood sensors, for example. You got to integrate those, cameras, drones. Take that information up to the next layer, communications. We build the communication networks of a few German states, Saxony, for example, just next door here. We built their network, and we also operate right next door in Thuringia the Security Operations Center for the state network. So we make sure that the data then is traveling through those networks safely, getting to the intelligence layer. That's where you aggregate the information, where you correlate it, to turn it into ultimately at the very top actionable intelligence on the command and control level, where you have complete situational awareness and you make sure that the smart city is also that the authorities in charge can act. And that's our offering for smart, safe, resilient cities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We leave, if we have time left, the questions for after all the presentations. And now we have your bioticx from Spain. For me, it's quite difficult to explain, but I give you now the floor.
Thank you very much. So good afternoon, everyone. So I'm the CEO for bioticx, a company based in Barcelona. So we played home at this nice congress, and I'm going to try to explain our solutions. So we are a company that we are developing technology for helping the cities in some of the big challenges they have for the future, especially focused in mobility and in environment issues. Okay, so basically this is our expertise. This is what we know about. We know about technologies of low consume. We know about sensors. We know about long-range communications, IoT communications protocols. And we know about data processing technology, about big data technologies, analytic technologies. This is what we know. And with this know-how, we build our technologies, our solutions. Our solutions are basically based first on sensors that provide accuracy information on some events on the city, and then we have some software applications for the exploitation of that information. So we work on 3 different solutions. We work on urban noise monitoring. We work on the other side on traffic monitoring for different type of urban roads. And we also work in parking solutions for parking guidance and for parking controls. These are the 3 solutions that we can provide. So I don't know. I made something wrong. Sorry. No. Okay. So we are going to begin for the smart parking solution. Our smart parking solution is based first, as I told you, on sensors. So we can get real-time information on parking availability. We can provide different type of sensors depending on the application. Then this information is already sent to our cloud platform, and from the cloud platform we can provide the information to some, for example, periphericals like dynamic signs, or some software applications, or some apps for the citizens, or for the managers of the services of the city in the mobility aspects. No, doesn't work so good. Sorry. Now, okay. So basically, when we talk about the smart parking, we talk about 2 big applications. One application is guidance applications. Guidance applications means that we get real-time information about parking availability in different areas of the city, and according to that availability, we can guide the traffic to the areas where there is more availability. How we can do this guidance? We can do this guidance with dynamic signs, basically, or with apps, and this has applications in the cities, but also in some public parkings like hospitals or that type of situations, or also for some private parkings. The other big applications of the smart parking solution is control projects. It means that we have some specific parking spaces in the city with some specific rules of utilizations. This means payment spaces. This means loading and unloading spaces. This means handicap spaces. And using the sensor plus some applications, we can optimize the use of these spaces for the users and also for the managers of the service. Okay. If we move to another of the solutions, we talk about noise monitoring solutions. So we can develop a network of noise sensors to the city, and this allows us to get accurate but cost-efficient solution for monitoring different critical areas in the city, like leisure areas, areas with problems with industry noise, areas with problems with road noise. Okay? And finally, the last solution is traffic solution. So we get some wireless sensors that we can put on the roads, and we can get some traffic information, like counting vehicles, like average speed, like vehicle classification, that we can integrate to big ITS control platforms in the city. Okay. So all our solutions, we work very carefully for getting accurate information. It's very important that the information provided by the sensor is very accurate. It's easy to install. We need a good lifetime of the sensor, so our sensors that can work on an autonomous way during 10 years. And very easily to integrate with third-party systems. That is a usual requirement of our customers. Okay? Finally, just commend you that we have more than 25,000 sensors deployed in more than 20 countries. So it's our solutions are proven solutions, and we will be very pleased if you have any need to help you in your city challenges. So thank you very much.
From Spain we go to, From Spain we go to Italy, and we do have the next company, which is Mepo.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon. I am Monica Poli from Mepo.
Hi to everyone, I'm Simona and I'm a UX UI designer in Mepo.
Mepo is a small company from the north of Italy. And you will all agree with me, we live in an uncertain world that is transforming quicker and quicker. Every day we are faced with unexpected situations that force us to take fast decisions which impact we cannot forecast. Unexpected shutdowns decrease the productivity of our plants. Bad maintenance slow down our rides and our own activity. Energy in our plants and in our cities is fundamental, just like blood in our body. And we need to find a way to understand how to best use it. So we need to understand a way how to understand how much of it do we waste, how much will we have access to those resources in the future, and for how long we will have access to them. Newest technologies have enabled us to collect a variety of data from the world around us. In both public and private sectors, the amount of data gathered and storage keeps growing. How can we canalize all those informations to get to the most effective result? How can we take advantage from AI and from automatic learning? In Mepo, we want to democratize AI. Let me just give you an example. Just a few years ago, if you wanted to create a website, you needed to have strong IT competences and specific knowledge. Now, with the advent of WordPress, almost anybody ideally can create a website with no efforts at almost no cost. And in Mepo, we want to be the WordPress of AI. In fact, we provide not only the technology, but also consultancy and trainings on the topic to help companies optimize their own structures and processes with AI and predictive analytics and industrial innovation as well. In other words, our aim is to help you translate what your data are trying to tell you.
In the last years, Mepo has acquired strong competencies and deep knowledge about these fields: predictive maintenance, energy data science, IoT, and especially artificial intelligence. But what's the result? The result is Rebecca. Rebecca is an inclusive platform which is customizable. That means that you can understand patterns out of your data, and thanks to this is possible thanks to a simple user experience and especially to a clear user interface. Rebecca has these four main fields of applications. So we have IoT, which helps you to connect, process, and create value out of your data. Then we have asset management, which helps you to map your assets, plan, and then optimize your predictive maintenance processes. Another field is energy management that supports you to control your resources and especially detect inefficiencies. Then we have the last one, which enables you to build your own artificial intelligence and then evolve it. In conclusion, here you can see some of our projects we have been working on. And let me tell you just one last thing. Through data, as they are, we cannot do so much. But through a right data interpretation, we can do a lot. A lot for social and environmental sustainability, such as we can increase our security in the streets. We can improve our machine health. We can create participation to some mathematical evidences in the world. And then we can teach to machine learning to help us to live better. And that's what we do in Mepo. Thank you really for your attention.
Thank you very much. From Italy, we go back to Spain, and we have Aimsun.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's see if it works. I'm Josep from Aimsun. We are a local company based in Barcelona as well as Biotica with 22 years of experience. It works, yeah. Highly specialized in a specific topic within this smart cities framework, which is transportation, and more specifically in providing models for transportation. We're a company nowadays owned by Siemens since last year, delivering software to gather all this data that has been here mentioned about the new sensors, new technologies, also classic detection and classic ways to obtain information from the field, and to put that into software to provide intelligence. As it was mentioned before, predicting either long-term, what's going to happen in my cities in the next 20, 30 years is important. Also predicting what's going to happen within the next hour is also important. So we have tools for all that. We are let's move on. Yeah, we're a quite international company with few branches around. We work internationally, and our most relevant markets are North America, Australia, also United Kingdom, across Europe, but we are in around 80 countries nowadays. And what we do, we provide software. Our first product in the portfolio is what we call Aimsun Next, which is an integrated tool for modeling, as I said, from very, very long term to short term, to really create your simulation for the different networks transportation networks and take decisions, informed decisions. Of course, these models are fed by data. You can see here in the video an example of the island of Singapore. But what we are considering, because technology allows now, is to consider cities entirely. No longer building isolated models that were built ad hoc for every specific case, but going towards an integrated approach. Having models for taking decisions by the municipality, by the private companies, by everyone, with the most accurate information possible. Here you can see classic outputs from traffic simulation and traffic modeling. So which is going to be the density in specific intersections? What if I replace that intersection by another type of layout? What is going to be the changes in my travel paths if my demand increases, short term or long term? What if I test new technologies in the field, so I deploy new technologies, which will be the impact? So now I can quantify these impacts and really take decisions. And this is an offline tool, but we went already 10 years ago to something. Can you lower the volume, please?
The San Diego Integrated Corridor Management System. The San Diego ICMS is led by the San Diego Association of Governments with Parsons Corporation as project integrator and backed by major stakeholders.
Traffic control center, a mobility center, and feed them in real time with data.
The ICMS
and given that the tools nowadays are
15
faster
is one of the first
to
working
compute and
examples
calculate
of a traffic
forecast,
management
we can
system
go into
integrated with
having
the
really short-term
live
forecasts
prediction engine.
for example, what's going to happen in my
Traffic
network in the
managers
next
use
hour.
the ICMS
In
to
difference
anticipate
of the
congestion
weather,
before
where
it
we cannot
happens
interact with,
and
we
take
can change
preventative
and we can
action using
interact with
intelligent
transportation
traffic
networks.
systems,
So
or
what we aim
ITS,
here
as they
is
are
to
known.
provide
The
different
network
alternatives
covers a
and
20-mile stretch
optimize
of Interstate
management
15,
in my
portions
transport
of State
networks.
Road 78,
In the video you can
56,
see and you can
and
listen, by the way,
and
is
arterial
one of
roads
our
for Escondido,
awarded
Poway,
projects,
and San
signature
Diego.
projects
There are
running in San
1,000
Diego on the
miles of
I-15
lanes
corridor,
with over 3,000 links
taking a
and
big portion of the north part of the
270
city and running
intersections.
for the last 6 years, providing forecast 24/7 every five
This network
minutes,
was chosen
and
as
giving
improved
us
from the
providing
most
assessment
advanced ITS
every
infrastructure
time there's an
available.
incident
Middle
declared or there's
grounds.
any kind of unusual situation we are
Adaptive
facing.
control.
Of course, this is a fantastic way
Express
to,
lanes with dynamic toll
let's say,
pricing.
tackle problems that
And reversible
operators and
lanes.
transport managers have to face on a daily
It is
basis
also one of the
in an
busiest
automated way.
networks in the country,
In this case, system
including
runs
major
completely
commuter
automated.
links and the principal regional
And last
and
but not
interregional
least,
inland routes.
if it works.
Simulate
We're
a
moving
driverless
more and
future.
more into the domain of
Ace in
new
Auto is a software
vehicles,
toolkit
new
for the
ways of
design and
transportation. This is
validation of
changing the
path
scheme.
planning
It's
algorithms
changing
for
how the
self-driving
paradigm of how
vehicles.
transportation is
AI
looking
startups,
nowadays.
vehicle
So what we are is
manufacturers, and
introducing
government
tools. This is
regulators
one of
use
our
auto to
newest tools,
perform
Emson
safe,
Auto,
massive
to
scale
provide
testing of path planning,
massive
from
testing
anything from a single
for autonomous
algorithm
vehicle
to an
algorithm
entire
providers,
city center.
AVS stacks.
With native
So
support
what
for
we can do
Linux,
here,
you can
we
execute
can
thousands of
virtualize
concurrent
cities and we
instances
can
much
test
faster
and
than
provide
real-time,
billions of
effectively coupling the equipment
data
of millions of
to
autonomous miles
newcomers in the
overnight.
sector
The
or
scope
existing
of testing is
existing
virtually unlimited and
technology
includes
providers,
public
car
transport,
manufacturers,
human-driven vehicles,
technology providers,
pedestrians, bicycles,
to
and
try to
motorcycles.
improve such
Testing
algorithms
with auto
and
can include
and
extraordinary
help in the
scenarios with
application
road
and
actors
implementation
that
of
would
such
be
technology in the
expensive or
sector.
impossible to
Of course,
perform on a
additional
track.
products we
With
have
auto, you can also run
consider
wide
mobility
area
as a service.
regression
So
tests
how
to
these
ensure
new
that
technologies,
immediately the autonomy
these
stack
cars
continues
will
to
also
meet
transform the
higher safety
car ownership
standards.
and the way we move
Used in
along
combination
cities.
with sensor
For all
and
that,
vehicle dynamics.
what we humbly provide is tools that help in planning and operating this in a better way. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The next presentation, then we go to Belgium, to my home country, where we have some information on how we manage waste in Belgium.
Hello. No? Ah. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. So my name is Imdad. We are Brighter Winds, and we are coming from Belgium. And we are also called Garbage Boys, because we love garbage. And why do we love garbage? Because there is a lot of money that is there that people sometimes are not aware. So there is around 8 million bins in EU and North America, and to pick up all the waste per year, we are spending around 9 billion euros. And if you do a bit of intelligent pickups, then you can save up to 35% of the 9 billion euros. So that's a market potential of around 2 billion euros we are targeting. So there are 3 problems that we are trying to solve. The first problem is that this one, which you will see in most places in Europe, as well as not in Belgium, but this is in UK. So it's just that it's not been picked up at the right time. So you have liters and pictures like this. The second problem is that sometimes we are picking it up very, very early. So meaning that it's an inefficient way of picking it up. So the guys are just going there, picking up, even if the bin is not full at all. However, the biggest problem also is that of urban planning. So not many municipalities or cities have got the data that just to decide that where are they going to place their bin. Is it on zone A, city, or part of the city B, or where? Why not 2 bins rather than 1 bin? All this data is missing. In Belgium, we have been talking to some cities, and they say that the last data they had was from 40 years back. So that means this is a potential gold mine to do proper urban planning and save cost also there. So what do we do? So we have developed this device. It's based on ultrasonic sensors, and it has got a rotating ultrasonic device, ultrasonic sensor here. So you can place it to the bin. Either you are placing it to the top of the bin, and if the bin does not have a top cover, you place it on the side. You can do place anywhere you want, and it will sense the fill level of the bin. So meaning what is the percentage of the bin that is full. And that means we are actually bringing intelligence to the bin. So by placing this device inside, you are making the bins talk to the cities or to the guys like Suez, picking up the bins at the right time at the right place. So by doing this, they have a dashboard or an app that they can see which bins to pick up when, and by proper route planning, they can still pick up with the right way at the right time. This is called on-demand pickup. By just doing that, we have seen that you can save up to 35% of cost. So if you see the data here, the graphs are rising because this is the bin is getting filled up. And at one point of time, somebody is going there picking it up. This is real data from cities. So if you see that on the average, the cities are picking up the garbage at around 55%, meaning that the bin is still not 85% or 90%, which is absolutely possible. And by doing that, you save a lot of things. CO2 emission, traffic, your fleet management, your resource management, and something that probably even we don't know today. So this is what we are providing through the platform as well as this device. Are we selling? If some people are interested, yes. Today, this is our first year of sales, and we are selling around 5,000 bins already equipped with this kind of sensors. In all over the world, to be honest, it's not only in Belgium. In Belgium, of course, this is our home base, so we are quite installing everywhere. However, the biggest one is in the city of Sheffield in UK. As we speak now, 2,000 bins are becoming intelligent in Sheffield in UK. Then we are also installing in Australia, in New Zealand, and even in places like India. So as we say that if we can sell it in India, it's easy to sell it in Rome. So we are 2 founders. Actually, I'm the guy who leads the operations, but my CEO says that he needs a Sundar Pichai kind of look today. So he sent me here to present. So I have the experience of 22 years in corporate, and I usually manufacture 1 million devices per year all around the world. So my job is to make the product to the reality, while my co-founder, Noman, he is mainly the technology strategist. So he develops the concept, the technology, and I bring it to the market, no matter what happens. So today where we have 11 people. We are producing all our devices in China. So the whole setup is ready. We can manufacture any number of devices in Shenzhen and ship it to any part of the world within 8 weeks. You have a global procurement team that is settled there. They manage everything. This is a big process that we have started and built up for 2 years now. We have an R&D center that we have started in Pakistan because we want to keep the cost low from the very beginning. And we have the architects and the designers in Belgium. So today we are 11 people, but we plan to grow to around 35 people very soon. And we will be crossing 1 million next year for sure. So we will be selling 20,000 devices next year as part of forecast. And we will be selling in 3 years around 100,000 devices. That's guaranteed. So we just love waste. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we go to the last presentation from Portugal, and that's the company Wavecom.
Hello, good afternoon to you all. Let's hope that I do not take you so much time, so everyone wants to have some lunch. So I'll try to be quick. This is not mine. So they are... Okay, this is my presentation. So the company name is Wavecom, and I'm here to present you our solutions for communications in the environment of the city. So we are a manufacturer of wireless communication systems, namely IoT and Wi-Fi communication systems. Actually, we are, well, when you want to run this kind of environment with of solutions, just like managing the irrigation, managing the parking and the containers, the garbage containers, you must have a communications layer in order to address those devices. So we are position ourselves as a manufacturer of radio access networks for this kind of environment. So we also, I beg your pardon, in terms of IoT communications, we position ourselves as a lower one radio access provider. So we manufacture gateways. Gateways are the base stations that actually provide the coverage for the terrain. And we also provide the LoRaWAN server, which is actually, well, one of the things that our Wavecom IoT manager provides, because you also have to manage the devices in a city, in a territory. You easily run hundreds of devices, and you want to manage them centrally to monitor those devices, to do the provisioning of devices, and all of those functions are available in our Wavecom IoT manager. Another area in which we operate is the transportation. We are providing a solution for smart bus, in which we provide a system for free Wi-Fi access for users, as well as some sensorization of what's happening inside the bus. And this means like people counting, which is actually an important thing, because most of the bus operators, they are aware of how many users have activated their tickets on the entrance, but they do not know when they leave. And so they actually do not have an exact idea of how many users are running between stop A and stop B. And we provide that solution. So we help them to correlate the ticketing data with the actual people counting of users inside. We also do this counting, classifying the users. I mean, if these are grown-up people, if these are children, if they are disabled people, if they are bringing bicycles, we do provide this kind of features. Also, we introduced some sensorization related to the air quality inside the bus, which is related to the general comfort of the passenger. Our solution also includes, of course, the localization of the bus. So there is a centralized management system. This information is being sent to applications. So we also provide an app so that the user that is on a stop knows exactly how much time is going to last until the next bus arrives. This is an overall solution used in many places in the world, in Portugal, in Spain, and in the world. Our major operation is in the Portuguese capital city, Lisbon, with over 800 buses with this technology. We are here looking for opportunities, namely with integrators along the world that feel they are into the market of the municipalities and the transportation system. And so please feel free to contact us. We are willing to create a business channel together with the integrators in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this was our last presentation. We do have still some minutes because it seems that this is the last session here in this Agora for this Smart City Expo. I'm not sure if there is from the audience some questions towards the presenters. So in case there is, please shout and then we will bring you the mic. Does anybody have some questions? We only have time for one, so who wants to volunteer? Even no Chinese volunteer? Okay. Then I hope you had a great time here in Barcelona and that you, for the rest of your life, recall SmartCityTech and the people we brought here together. So I wish you a great travel home, wherever you go, in each corner of the world. So thank you for listening to us, and please contact us when needed. Bye.